How's it going, everyone? This is Lesky here, and I'm back with another FIFA 22 Pro Clubs player build. And in this video, I'm going to be going over this holding mid build, the CDM position, mostly just focus on defense, got some pretty good physical attributes, and you're really just a lockdown midfielder. You're not going to be going forward much with this build. It doesn't have much attacking attributes. This is mostly just a lockdown CDM build for a lot of you guys that just like to be the anchor in the back in the midfield for your team. Let the other players go and attack, and you're the one that's sitting back like in the midfield in front of your back line trying to prevent the counter attack. That's basically what this build is focused on, just pure defense and also kind of a little bit of playmaking because the passing attributes are actually pretty solid as well. Starting with the height and weight of this build, we went for 6 foot, 119 pounds. And on my YouTube community page, I posted a poll letting you guys know that I wanted to make a CDM build, and I was asking what height I should make the build. I gave y'all 3 different height ranges, and the one that won was the 5'10" to 6 foot height, which was kind of like the average height. I gave y'all a shorter height range and then a taller height range, and the average one, which was 5'10" to 6 foot. So that's why we are 6 foot. And the reason I went for 6 foot over 5'10" was mainly just because you have a little bit more of a physical presence in the midfield, and a lot of teams do need that. I see a lot of people just rocking a lot of small players, and they just really need at least one big dude, especially in the midfield, to win a lot of those 50-50s and those aerial battles. So this is what that build is basically capable of doing, and you're not like crazy tall. You're 6 foot, so you're actually pretty fast still, and I just think it's a pretty good height for a CDM build. 5'10" would be solid as well. So for some of y'all that want to make this build 5'10", y'all could do that. I think the bonus of that is you get a little bit extra pace, but you also lose some physical attributes and I think some shooting attributes when you go down to 5'10". But other than that, it's pretty much the same, and you can pretty much put the same thing on the skill tree that I have. So again, for some of y'all that don't want to be 6 foot and instead want to do 5'10", go for it. It's not going to make much of a difference on this build. You just might not win as much aerial battles and those shoulder-to-shoulder 50-50 battles because you're a little shorter and weaker. So let's hop on over to the perks, and I can show you guys what I have. For the first perk, I went for this ball winner perk that boosted tackling ability when close to the dribbler. It can be pretty annoying because it pops up on your screen a lot, makes the perk noise every time you get like 10 yards away from the ball or something like that. I'm not too sure how close you have to be for it to activate, but it activates every time you get really close to the ball, and as a CDM trying to steal the ball, it's going to happen a lot. So it can be pretty annoying with the noise and popping up a good amount, but it is a really good perk, especially for CDM, just because it increases your sliding and your stand tackling. And then the second perk is physical strength. We do have pretty good physical attributes on this build, but like kind of the same thing with the ball winner, we have pretty good defensive attributes on the skill tree as well. But we just want to boost that even more because we're mostly just focusing on making this a lockdown defender build or CDM build and just sitting in front of the back line and just anchoring the midfield for your team. And with the third perk, we have precision pass, which will increase your player's normal pass accuracy and speed and grants players the swerve and flare traits and 5-star weak foot ability. This is really good because you have a 5-star weak foot on any of your A passes or like your X lofted passes. It doesn't matter what foot you're on, it'll be a perfect pass because of that 5-star weak foot. And with the precision pass perk, the RBAs, like the driven passes, or like on PlayStation, it's R1X, I believe. Those are very good, and same with double tap A's and double tap X's for PlayStation. It improves those quite a bit. So I would definitely recommend trying out the RBAs for sure because it just gets to your teammates very fast, and it gives the any or the computer that's trying to defend less time to react to the situation and read the pass. There are a few more options that you can go for if you don't have the precision pass unlocked or if you just don't want it. I would definitely prefer the threaded pass if I had it unlocked. This will increase your through balls. I would like that a lot, but I don't have it unlocked yet, so I'm just going for the precision pass. But if you don't want the precision pass or like the threaded pass, I would maybe try a distance shooter. I don't know how much it will really increase your shooting ability, but you will have a 5-star weak foot, and since you are a CDM, you might be on the top of the box quite a bit, and you might have a chance to hit a long shot. but I don't know how much it will like really improve the long shots, because the long shots or like shooting attributes on this CDM build aren't the greatest. So it might not make it like crazy good, since it's already not that good. But you could possibly make some. I'm not too sure. I didn't really try it out. And then the other one that you could possibly do is maybe Skill Dribbler, just because the dribbling attribute on a CDM isn't the best. The ball control is pretty good, but the dribbling is pretty low. So this would increase your dribbling and also give you the flare trait. And then I also tried this lockdown perk. I just wanted to give it a try. I tried it for a few games, and it just boosts your attributes after your team scores a goal for 15 minutes. It just gives you better defensive attributes. I really didn't notice it too much, like the increase, so I took it off and just went for the precision pass. But that is it for these perks for this CDM build. We have the ball winner, physical strength, and precision pass. Now let's head on over to the skill tree. Starting with the physical page, we went all the way down to the bull archetype, and what this does, it gives you a lot of strength and high aggression. You already have pretty decent aggression as a CDM, but as a 6 foot, 119 pounds, mostly because you're 119 pounds CDM, you don't have that great of strength as a base attribute. So we want to increase that and basically go all the way down to the bull archetype with everything else. And this bull archetype, it'll give you +3 stamina, +13 strength, and +5 aggression, which will give us to 87 aggression, 78 strength, 74 jumping, 75 stamina, and 85 reaction. So actually very solid physical attributes. And remember, we do have the physical strength perk as well. So our strength is probably even higher than this. And as well as the jumping when you're going for headers, because the physical strength increases both of that stuff. But this is it for the physical page. Let's head on over to defending, where we actually have a decent amount on the defending. And I was trying to figure out like what would be best for this defensive page. And what you're going to want to do is go for this first interceptions, and you're not going to want to do any of this stuff unless like you're playing any. It might be pretty helpful when you're using this build to increase the defensive awareness, because that's the only time it's useful is when you are in any. That's the only time you want to increase the defensive awareness, because the defensive awareness only really works when you're not controlling your player. So it's very good for innies, but if you're not playing any, you don't want it. So avoid that and just make sure you get this interceptions to get 85 interceptions. And then on this right side, you're going to go all the way down to this third one and get the sliding tackle, and then get this standing tackle. And then you're going to go to the standing and sliding tackle, and that'll give you +3 stand tackle and +3 slide tackle for 5 skill points. And that'll get us to 85 interceptions, 85 stand tackling, and 85 slide tackling. Very well-rounded defensive attributes. And remember, the defensive awareness doesn't matter. It only matters if you are playing any. And I was getting a ton of tackles with this build. Interceptions are very solid as well. Slide tackling is good too. And then we also have the ball winner perk, which increases your stand tackling and slide tackling. So I don't really know how much it actually increases it, but I would like to think that it's like 90 stand tackle and 90 slide tackle at least. At least give it +5 for both. So technically you would have like 90 stand tackling and 90 plus slide tackling, I would think. So it's actually a very, very locked down build, and I was getting a ton of tackles and interceptions. And I believe one game, like towards the end, I think I had like 11 tackles in one game. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can probably do even better than that. But 11 tackles is pretty solid, in my opinion, for just one game. Just one player playing CDM, I think 11 tackles is pretty good. And I really like locking down people while using this build. And that's it for the defending page. Let's head on over to dribbling now, where we don't have too much skill points. I really just wanted to have some sort of skills. On almost all my builds I posted, I think I have 5-star skills. This one's a CDM, so going for 5-star skills is kind of useless. You're not going to want to be dribbling too much. But I did at least want to get 4-star skills when I'm in those tight situations and getting pressured in the midfield. I want to be able to wriggle out of some of those situations with skill moves, so that's why I have that. But for some of y'all that don't even want the skill moves and just want to go for the 3-star skills, go for that and just take this off. And then I would keep everything else like it is, because like I said earlier, you are going to want to increase the dribbling a bit, because the dribbling attribute is not the best. Like base attribute is not the best when looking at just like the base attributes for dribbling. We have 84 ball control. That's the best attribute. But then we have 72 dribbling. That's a pretty big drop off. So what we're going to do is get this dribbling on the left and then get this dribbling on the right. with the skill moves, and then you're good to go, and that'll get you to 78 dribbling. You would like to have it a little bit higher, but maybe if we get a little bit more skill points, we possibly could. But again, you're not going to be dribbling too much with this build anyway, so I think 78 dribbling is pretty solid. But that's also why I gave y'all the option, if y'all don't want the precision pass, maybe go skill dribbler, because it'll increase the dribbling even more and also give you the flare trait. But that'll be it for this dribbling. Let's head on over to passing now. We don't have a ton of skill points on this page, but the passing attributes are actually still very good with the increases that we added. Without it, we have 78 vision, 84 long pass, and 83 short pass, which is actually pretty decent. But with the increase of this long passing, this short passing, this other short passing, and this vision, it'll get us to 81 vision, 88 long pass, and 88 short pass. And you can play some through balls in behind the defense and have your players run onto it and get into one-on-one situations with the goalie because of that 88 long passing. And also the 81 vision is pretty decent as well. So you can definitely make some solid passes and be a pretty decent playmaker with this build. But now looking at the shooting page, where I wanted to go for the 4-star weak foot just to help for like, just once, if you do get in that situation where you need to shoot with your left foot, even though the shooting attributes aren't very good or very reliable at all, it's just nice to have a 4-star weak foot. And it also helps for those through balls. It won't be as helpful for the A passes because the precision pass already gives you the 5-star weak foot on your passes, but it will help for like over top through balls. And I guess crosses as well if you're trying to cross with your weak foot, if you're in that situation. But you won't be in a situation where you need to cross too much anyways. But so we went for the 4-star weak foot, and then I think this was just an extra skill point. We had one extra skill point to put on the build, so I just put it on finishing, in which will get us +2 finishing and only give us a 68 finishing, which is not very good. But again, like I said, we are not going to be going forward too much at all with this build. And that's pretty much it for the shooting. I think I got a few goals with this build, but not very much. So don't rely on this build being like a crazy goal scoring build, because that's not it. It's more of a defensive build that can also make some pretty decent passes. Now taking a look at the pace, where we went with the full pace increase, and we have 92 acceleration and 88 sprint speed as a 6-foot CDM. Last year, the year before on Pro Clubs, if you tried to make a CDM that's like out 6 foot, you cannot be this fast at all. It wasn't possible. Like, even if you were 119 pounds, I think like the fastest you could make, I don't even know, the fastest you could be was like 85 max as a 6-foot CDM. Maybe not even that fast. It might have been even like lower, like 82, 80. I'm not too sure, but you definitely could not be this fast. Almost 90 pace. I think it's technically 89, but it's basically 90 pace. And I did try this build out a few games with this one off, so we would have 89 acceleration and 88 sprint speed. And then I think I put the rest of the skill points on this +5 reactions to get 90 reactions and make your guy feel pretty freaking responsive in like chaotic situations. I tried that out and I actually like it, and you really don't notice much of a difference taking off the pace anyways. So for some of y'all that might want just to try out the 90 reactions, give it a try and put this one on right here. Because that's actually pretty crazy stat, is the 90 reactions. But I just opted for the 92 acceleration and 88 sprint speed just to get the max pace and keep it simple. But that's going to wrap up this CDM build, guys. Please let me know in the comments if you do give this build a try, how it went on for you. Hopefully you can make some pretty nasty tackles and lock down the other team and help your team out on the defensive side. I would love to hear that, so let me know in the comments. And if you could hit that like button on this video and hit that subscribe button on my channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.